Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our inaugural Celebrate Your Impact event. I'm Christina Gordon. I'm the CEO of the Women's Foundation of Boston, and I'm so excited to celebrate and share with all of you, our donors, our volunteers, our entire community is with us, and you've all made our tremendous growth and impact a true reality. So this is our opportunity to say thank you to you, to all of you, and to show you all your dollars and your volunteer work in action. The objective of this event is to highlight to all of you the results of your steadfast commitment and support of the Women's Foundation of Boston. So thank you. We're also going to record this so that we can share it with those who couldn't attend. So FYI, it's being recorded. I'm thrilled that we have many of our fantastic donors and volunteers with us today. And this includes women and men from our incredible board, our amazing volunteers, and our awesome advisory council members. So thank you all for joining us. I'd also like to just make a special shout out to the co-chairs of this event, Jill Roberts and Marianne Cook, who've been very, very involved with the Women's Foundation of Boston since our early days and have worn many, many hats for our organization, including this one. So thank you all. And now I'd like to briefly review our important mission and incredible impact, particularly in 2020. Today, more than ever, we are committed to our mission to economically empower Greater Boston women and girls through funding high impact leadership and economic programs in partnership with nonprofits serving solely women and girls. Last year was indescribable in many, many, many ways, but thankfully the Women's Foundation of Boston was around to be there when the women and girls of Greater Boston needed us most. We finished 2019 having impact roughly about 3,000 women and girls, which we were very proud of. But I am so excited to announce that we impacted almost 6,000 more women and girls in 2020, tripling our total impact. And this happened because, along with our ongoing fundraising and granting efforts, we created the first and only response fund solely for women and girls. We quickly raised $500,000 and we began granting those dollars without dropping our stringent vetting process as early as March 27th. We completed, I think it was 27 grant agreements in 2020, many of which were for technology. So the women and girls serving organizations could pivot to virtual and ensure that the vulnerable girls and young women could stay connected to their encouraging and optimistic communities, such as Science Club for Girls and the Littles could stay in touch with their big sisters. This actually really became a lifeline for many, many of these girls, and we are so proud to have made that happen. And your generous donations have fueled our steep growth in committed funds. The growth has been dramatic and the increase has continued. It's even accelerated during the pandemic. Our 2020 grant cycle grants almost doubled our total commitments, and our 2021 grant cycle looks equally as strong. The common thread in all of our committee-driven granting decisions is the emphasis on economic empowerment. We will announce our 2021 grant recipients on June 1st for up to $1.25 million. And that includes a $25,000 STEM grant, which was funded by Analog Devices, which is super exciting. 2021 has already been a groundbreaking year for the Women's Foundation of Boston in other ways, and it's only April. So we're super excited. We formed our formal inaugural board of directors. We began implementing our 5-year strategic plan. We completed our marketing strategic plan. And actually really exciting, we signed a pro bono contract with an award-winning Boston PR firm, Solomon, McCowan & Sense. So stay tuned for more exciting news from us during the year. We're really looking forward to a very impactful and exciting year. And now we are going to get to the meat of the program, which is where we get to highlight 3 of our amazing grantee partners. Please put any questions you might have in the Q&A box because we are so grateful to have the leaders with us live so they can answer any of your questions. So I'm pleased to kick off the event with the Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts.
The mission of Girl Scouts is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. The 4 areas that make up the Girl Scout leadership experience are STEM, outdoors, life skills, and entrepreneurship.
I sold 400 Girl Scout cookies, selling them at the Boys and Girls Club and to my family.
Right away, our staff developed and rolled out Girl Scouts at Home. This was an immediate shift from in-person to all virtual programming and services. We have both team member-led and self-guided programming opportunities.
Right now, we're doing a community service act and providing pads around public places where women and girls need. Maybe like at school where girls are probably afraid to ask their teachers or ask nurses. They want to have it there for you to grab so that you won't feel ashamed. So we're trying to do that community service.
We also created Camp Outside the Box, which brought 6 weeks of age-appropriate summer camp activities right to girls' doorsteps. We make sure that nearly all of our programs have both virtual and social interaction.
So I remember by like May, I dropped goodie bags for all of them, drive around safely with masks and then drive goodie bags, and I could see them because I miss them so much. I used to see it, some of them, almost every day or twice a week, and I couldn't even see them. So I checked on the parents too, because the parents, some of them, they were home, struggling with homeschool, like the whole Zoom, and checking on them because not the child, because if the parents are not good, they will not be able to help the child.
The $9,000 grant that we received from the Women's Foundation of Boston helped cover technology costs. This was necessary to provide safe and interactive virtual spaces for girls to participate in our programming.
Another Girl Scout group of mine wanted to do like online babysitting for moms who probably need a break and want their kids to join something else and have some fun.
Some of the activities that I've done with Girl Scouts is horseback riding and celebrating International Women's Day.
Thanks to support from the Women's Foundation of Boston, Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts was able to serve 4,000 girls through Girl Scouts at Home programming.
So that's one thing of the lesson I want to, when they support an organization like that, it's not just the organization, it's a family that they are supporting in the community, because the work they are doing in the community, it's amazing.
Thank you to the Women's Foundation of Boston from all of us at Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts. We are so grateful for your support.
We are so thrilled to have Deb Taft from the Board of Directors of the Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts. Welcome, Deb. The Girl Scouts were a beneficiary of the Women's Foundation of Boston COVID Response Fund way back in April. And we are so proud to be spotlighting them today as one of our amazing grantee partners. So with that, Deb, I'd love to just ask you a couple questions before we meet our Girl Scout. Deb, how did COVID-19 impact the Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts, and how did it impact the girls specifically?
Significant. Right away, our staff had to develop and roll out Girl Scouts at Home. This was an immediate shift from in-person to all virtual programming and services. And our model actually became a leader within Girl Scouts of the USA and for national implementation. It was amazing. When we created Camp Outside the Box, which brought 6 weeks of age-appropriate summer camp activities straight to girls' doorsteps. We make sure that nearly all of our programs include virtual social interaction with peers. And we saw this in action too with our Lift Your Voices, which gave girls and volunteers age-appropriate spaces to learn about racial justice and to lift their own voices on social justice issues that they see and experience and how they'd like to change them.
Awesome. How did the Women's Foundation of Boston COVID Response Grant help Girl Scouts pivot to address the pandemic lockdown?
It was enormously important. The $9,000 grant we received from the Women's Foundation of Boston covered the cost of technology resources necessary to provide these safe and interactive virtual spaces for girls to participate in our Girl Scouts at Home programming. Included Zoom licenses, laptops, professional development to support GSEMA staff in implementing virtual programs. And we were able, with that support, to quickly pivot to an online format and continuing to offer seamless transition to online programming to our girls, which included enrichment activities such as Girl Scout skill building, leadership awards, modified outdoor adventures in both urban and suburban environments, and virtual meetings, providing much needed peer-to-peer connections.
That's awesome. So it sounds like the Girl Scouts from Home was really successful. Could you give us some more context in that?
Incredibly successful. The interactive programming and meeting spaces provided by Girl Scouts at Home with your support enabled Girl Scouts from K through 12 to continue to build essential life skills while exploring progressive girl-led activities at every level, age level. Available program subjects included STEM through coding, engineering, space science research, civic engagement, and leadership, where girls are taught to use their voices advocate for issues they care about, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, which empowers girls to become financially proficient and think like an entrepreneur, and outdoor skills such as fire safety, knot tying, and environmental conservation. These virtual environments have allowed GSEMA to more easily leverage subject matter experts, including authors, detectives, bakers, software engineers, introducing female role models in fields of study that girls may not have had the access to before. And you know that exploring the outdoors has always been an integral part of the Girl Scout experience. We're committed to providing programming which encourages our members also to unplug and embrace the natural beauty in their own neighborhoods while our properties have been closed.
That's amazing. Deb, now I'd love to bring Nina to our conversation. And Nina is a Girl Scout, and we'd love to meet her and hear more from her. Welcome, Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Thanks for joining us. So Nina, all our donors and volunteers and our whole community is here to be honest with you, to hear from you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how old you are and where you're from, just to give us some sense of who you are?
Yes. I am 14 years old. I am from Boston, Massachusetts. I am in the 8th grade going on to the 9th grade. I am a dancer. I have a twin sister, and I love being part of my Girl Scout troop.
Cool. How long have you been involved with the Girl Scouts, and what brought you to join the Girl Scouts?
I've been involved with the Girl Scouts for 3.5 years now. I wanted to be part of a group with all girls that I can feel comfortable with. And the first day that I went to go see my troop, I saw them making care packages for the homeless. And I saw how well they were working together and having fun with it. And I wanted to join something like that as well.
Nina, how has the Girl Scouts impacted your life?
It helped me get confidence in myself, build character within selling cookies. When I'm selling, it helps me speak up a little more because I kind of have to, and interact with customers. Helps me with goal setting and finding confidence through customer interactions, which I really love because I am a shy person.
Nina, I really am glad to hear that. So when COVID hit, Nina, were you able to attend Girl Scouts programs, and did you participate in Girl Scouts at Home?
Yes, we did partnerships with Miss Lucy. We did a journey over the summer, and currently we are working towards our silver award through Zoom with 4 other cadets. And we are basically putting a plan together to distribute menstrual products in places women might need. We talked about Black Lives Matter, and it really brought us together.
Nice. What was the best part of all the online programs? Did you have any favorite?
Yes. Well, my favorite right now is the Silver Award because I like how something that I can relate to that a lot of women could relate to as well. And as a troop, we can work together and help.
What badges or goals are you currently working towards? Is that the Silver Awards that you were referring to, or is that different?
Yes, it is the Silver Award to provide education about the sanitary pads. So the Silver Award and kind of the entrepreneur business that we usually did, I'm looking towards.
What are your sort of long-term goals and aspirations right now?
I really want to become a bigger dancer, and I want to learn how to dance a little more. I've already been dancing for a very long time now, and I want to set up a dance studio so other kids like me, they can express themselves in ways they can't in other things, and I really want them to do the same.
Nina, you're an awesome public speaker. You're referring to yourself as shy. I don't see that. I see a very confident young woman with a lot of ideas. Think that you're amazing. So thank you both for joining us. I wish you the best of luck, Nina, in all your future endeavors. I know you're going to have an amazing life, and I'm excited for you. So thank you both, Deb and Nina, for joining us.
Thank you, Christina. We so appreciate the Women's Foundation of Boston's support.
So thank you, Nina. She's awesome, isn't she? What an inspiration. We just had so much fun meeting her. And now I'd love for you all to meet our next grantee partner, which is Dress for Success.
A lot of women come in with a backpack, and we tried to give them clothes, but they can't take them because they have no room for them because they're living in a shelter and all they have is a backpack.
We see so many women at Dress for Success who have been through things that we can only imagine, and they still want to get that job. They still want to support their families.
Wow, I can't say enough about the organization, really.
I've never found anything similar to what Dress for Success offers to women of all backgrounds and walks of life.
I think one of the things that makes Dress for Success Boston so special to women is that we meet them where they are. So when the pandemic hit, we set women up virtually with volunteers to help with whatever they needed.
We actually have some virtual clothing that Dress for Success has set up. For this one, I think we're just focused on that first appointment and getting you one outfit that you feel really good about to give this interview.
I like that.
Definitely. So I'm going to place the order. So that's it, sweetie. And hopefully you'll get the job and then you get to come back to us and we'll shop some more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
These women are ambassadors. It starts, at Dress for Success with that one woman getting that job to just be an advocate in her company for herself, for her community, for what she represents is huge because you just bring all these other people up.
It really attracts the best in folks because it's so positive. It's launching people into independence and careers, and folks want to be a part of that.
I'm so thrilled to be joined today with Kim Todd, who is the Executive Director of Dress for Success Boston. And Dress for Success is one of our awesome grantee partners who we supported in 2020 with a $10,000 grant, as well as another $10,000 grant for 3 years, over the course of 3 years, of $10,000 a year for Confidence Days, which is an awesome program that they've introduced.
Thank you for having me. It's always good to see you.
Kim, how did COVID-19 impact Dress for Success?
Well, I can't believe it's been a year that we've been closed. We had to close our doors. And I mean, the problem with that is that what we're really known for is our boutique and how we dress women for job interviews. So without access to the clothing, without access to our boutique, we had to find a way to serve our women. So we created a virtual suiting program, and we've served about 120 women that way.
Well, it's great that you were able to change and pivot like that, because that's important information that they needed to know. I'm sure that it helped a lot. How did the Women's Foundation of Boston $10,000 that we had granted you in, I think it was March of 2020, how did that support and help further your mission?
Well, I mean, of course, financially, it definitely helped us just to continue doing what we're doing. But I really feel that the Women's Foundation, it's interesting because Dress for Success, we provide a network of support to our women. And I feel like the Women's Foundation has provided a network of support to us, because I feel, we check in frequently. I really feel the support from your foundation. So I think that has made a tremendous difference. You've helped connect us to other resources, and it's just been wonderful. We're very grateful.
Honestly, Kim, that's why we created the Women's Foundation of Boston, to do exactly that. And so, Kim, I'd love to meet LaShonda, one of your clients at Dress for Success, and find out more about her and her experience. So thank you, Kim.
Okay, thank you for having me. Hello, LaShonda.
Hello.
Hi, LaShonda.
How are you? And thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be able to be here with everyone today.
Well, thank you for joining us. LaShonda, all of our donors and volunteers and our entire community are here. So could you tell us just a little bit about who you are and just your story, your personal story, and then we can get into more about Dress for Success and how it impacted you?
Absolutely. So I'm a working mother of 4 and a grandmother of 1. Have been in the medical field in a support, like an administrative capacity, sort of in a support role for around 19 years, working for some pretty well-known companies like Blue Cross of Massachusetts and Brigham and Women's Hospital, Children's Hospital, and a few others. And just recently, remarkably so, when the pandemic began, changed tracks, and now I'm working in nonprofit.
Awesome. LaShonda, so what services have you used to Dress for Success, and how long have you been involved with Dress for Success?
I've been involved with Dress for Success, I want to say 3 years now, because when I was out of work around 3 years ago, I came across Dress for Success when I was at a one-stop career center, just looking for work, and Janelle was there doing a demonstration on, just things that you should wear as a professional woman to attract the job that you want. And that, I was hooked from that point on. I came through the doors. I was able to get close to for the interview process. And when I secured a job, I came back and I got an additional wardrobe to be able to work. And then at that time, I was invited to join the professional women's group. And actually, I was just selected this past year before COVID to be their Boston delegate at their annual conference. So I'll be able to learn from world leaders. I had no idea how big Dress for Success really is. I thought it was a local thing, and I had gone on to find out that they are global and they are helping women worldwide. Every opportunity that comes to me is almost just like, and it's mind blowing. Just seeking to help myself, how just doors just opened up, and how they trust me, and I don't know, they see something in me, and I don't know, I'm just humbling, actually.
That's wonderful. So Dress for Success enabled you to get clothing to dress professionally for your career. Were they involved in helping you get finding and getting a job?
So they weren't necessarily directly involved with helping me to find a job, but they were support along the way, because I was able to join that professional women's group, and the tidbits that I learned about just how to conduct myself in an interview, and just the networking aspect also helped, because I got to learn from different women coming from different industries at kind of the some of them at the tops of their game, and that all helped.
Well, that's excellent. And that's really great to hear because studies have shown that networks and mentoring really help women grow their careers. We're thrilled that this professional women's group at Dress for Success has done that for you. And I just want to thank you so much, LaShonda, for coming and joining us, for sharing your story, and also for all the work that you do for all these nonprofits, but specifically for Dress for Success and sharing your story. It's really, you're obviously paying it forward. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Honestly, the pleasure was all mine.
So thank you to Kim and LaShonda. Kim is an exceptional executive director with a compassion for women finding work and an eye on the bottom line, which is just exactly like the Women's Foundation of Boston. And LaShonda was just so wonderful to meet her. She just was so inspirational in everything that she said and did in her past. We're just so thrilled to have her with us. So, and now I'd like to introduce to you our sister school, our last grantee partner, which I know you're going to be thoroughly impressed with.
One, two, three, four. She's just a girl and she's on fire. Harder than a fantasy, lonely like a highway.
We are our sister school. We are an all-girls middle school, grades 5, 6, 7, and 8 in New Bedford. We are an independent, tuition-free school that is not religiously affiliated. The name Our Sister School refers to brave, bold, groundbreaking young women who went off in the whaling ships in the early 1800s. They were called sister sailors. Our students are brave, bold, groundbreaking young women who are exploring their education here at our sister school and will go off to high schools and colleges around the nation.
I think that individual attention, and especially just the empowerment of women and girls, that, the impact of that is unmeasurable. Something I really wish all girls around the world could have at that age, starting from that age.
Well, I think that before I came to OSS, I had this idea that a leader was the person in the room who talked the most and was kind of the loudest, most kind of domineering presence in the room. And I learned at OSS that it's just as powerful to be a person who leads quietly and who encourages other people to lead.
The learning and the teaching, also the teachers, they're very incredibly nice. They help you and they help you understand more about it, which some schools, like my old school, for instance, they would just teach us. And if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. Here at OSS, they teach you, they help you learn, and if you don't get it right away, that's fine. And they support you.
Spring is here and the students were in the greenhouse planting seeds that they will be able to harvest before the school year is over. The work the students are doing in the greenhouse is experiential, hands-on, and truly exciting. And we really appreciate the Women's Foundation of Boston for helping us make it possible. At our sister school, our students become quite fluent with technology. Each incoming student is assigned a Chromebook in 5th grade, which they use for 4 years in all of their classes. And by the time they get to high school, their skills are quite impressive.
In an all-girls school, we really learned that our voices were important and that our voices were powerful and that we could use them without the same constraints that we would have in a school that was not as diverse or had boys in it. And so I think being at OSS, and when I learned that I have important things to say and that I'm just as smart as the people around the table, and we have a lot to learn from each other, I think it really allowed me to step into Hotchkiss with a different level of confidence.
This girl is on fire.
So, hi everyone. I am so thrilled to be introducing you to one of our fantastic grantee partners, our sister school. Our sister school is a tuition-free middle school for girls living in low-income communities in New Bedford. The Women's Foundation of Boston has granted funds to OSS, as they're called, for several projects, including a $21,000 grant for technology, a $15,000 grant for a greenhouse for outdoor classes and meetings, and another grant for an 8-week summer program. And we are so proud of our collaboration with OSS, and I'm excited to introduce you now to their amazing head of school. Welcome, Sarah Herman.
Thanks, Christina.
Sarah, how did COVID-19 impact our sister school, and how did it impact specifically with the students?
As you can imagine, as has been the case around the world, the impact has been tremendous, and also the support from the community has been essential. So thank you specifically to the Women's Foundation of Boston for your essential support. We were almost a year ago, we closed the school, and we had the third trimester of our school year done remotely. So the Chromebooks that the Women's Foundation of Boston helped make available to us allowed students who needed technology at home easier access, which allowed us to keep the education going. We had exceptional outcomes from our third trimester last year, given the pandemic realities. That was amazing. And then in the summer, you helped us fund summer programming, so the students were able to have enrichment. They had been at home for a trimester, exhausted, screen exhausted, probably a little bit bored. And our teachers were really brave, and we were able to begin opening the school campus for the coming school year by practicing with summer programming. And so we had small groups of students who came to school for out in the outdoors. So we did basically outdoor education, and all of it was really summer enrichment oriented. Yes, there was academic tutoring. Yes, there were math games, and there were also STEAM projects happening. Also art and tie-dye and sports and gardening. Our outdoor classroom is a really active space. And so since it's such an active space, and then we were anticipating how do we come back in the fall, we wrote the grant for the greenhouse because we knew that we wanted extended space. We knew that because of COVID, we wanted well-ventilated space where we could host more students and where we could extend our program and extend our options. So we wrote the grant for the greenhouse. Our science program was really eager for the greenhouse anyway. And we thought that it was an excellent opportunity to grow our program in a really practical way. So the Women's Foundation of Boston was flexible with us and we worked really hard to build the greenhouse before the school year started. And then we used that space in the fall with tables and chairs so that we could spread the students out more.
And that's awesome. So Sarah, thank you so much. So now we get to meet a couple of the awesome girls from our sister school. And they are going to join us and share with us their school day and what they love about our sister school. Hi, nice to meet you both. I'm Christina Gordon. I'm the CEO of the Women's Foundation of Boston, and thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
First of all, our donors and our volunteers and our whole community are here to hear from you. And would you mind just telling us your first name, how old you are, and maybe what grade you're in so we get to know you a little bit?
My name is Mercedes. I just turned 13 years old and I am in the 7th grade. And my name is Deshay. I just turned 13 years old and I'm also inside the 7th grade.
Terrific. Well, thank you. So you've been attending school in person since last summer, unlike many kids. So that's terrific. We're so glad that you're in person. What was your favorite activity during the summer programming this past summer?
One of my favorite activities was when we were doing the tie-dye shirts because I still wear it and it still looks really nice, and that was one of my favorite ones. And my second favorite one was when we made like the water sprinkler. It was like a water sprinkler, and we made it with little tubes, and it was really fun to do.
That's awesome. I love sprinklers too, and I miss my friends. So we have a lot in common. What's your favorite or best part of your school day?
So the best part of my school day is when we have art class and fitness class, because when we have art, I really like to create things and paint and like sketch sometimes too. I really enjoy that. And also fitness class because we get to be active and do a lot of physical activities.
Terrific. I think you've been using new Chromebooks this year. What do you love about the Chromebooks, and what would you change about them if you could?
I really like the computers because recently we just got some at home to help us with our schoolwork, with Google Classroom, Docs, Gmail. And I really like the fact that we get to learn it because at my old school we didn't do much with technology. So now that the fact that we're learning how to do certain things and to be on Zoom calls, especially things like that, we're much more active with technology. I really like that.
Awesome. Well, today we are celebrating with our donors and our volunteers who helped your school build a new greenhouse for outdoor living. Can you tell us how you use it? Do you take classes in it?
So basically, the greenhouse is when we have silent sustained reading, and it's basically when we read for 45 minutes, so we can have a nice reading vocabulary and such. And in the greenhouse, like I really enjoy like watching the plants grow, and also like when it's really hot outside or it's like chilly, and it's nice and warm. And then if it's actually hot, then we can let up the sides so you can have a little breeze. Yeah, same
Awesome.
okay. And I don't know which ones are currently growing, but I do know ones that we are going to plant soon are sweet peas.
Awesome. We're really excited that you joined us today. Unfortunately, we are out of time, so I just want to conclude by saying thank you so much. And we're so thrilled to meet you, and we're looking forward to meeting you again, perhaps in the future. So thanks.
Thank you.
Wow. Sarah is such an impressive leader. She really is just, I guess it's best in class, I would say. And the twins are incredible. So I want to thank LaShonda and all the girls that joined us. And I want to thank them for their involvement in our inaugural event today. They're really our inspiration and frankly, our compass for all of our future work at the Women's Foundation of Boston. So now I'm excited that we have live and in person with us right now, the amazing leaders from all these 3 grantee partners. And I'd like to open it up to questions. And my first question will go to Sarah at our sister school. And we're opening up to questions. So please, again, the Q&A box would be great if you have any questions. Sarah, let's start with you. What do you think your biggest challenge is in 2021?
I think that this school year has been unfathomably and unforgettably challenging. There's no question that the COVID reality has presented hurdles for us to figure out how to leap. And I am so proud to say that this school, our sister school, has been open for the students since the summer all the way through this school year. There are only 6 students who are doing formally throughout the school year on the OSS at home pathway, as we're calling it. So overcoming that challenge of this year has been possible because our staff, families, students, volunteers have been incredibly brave. The school program was strong, the school culture was strong. We've done a lot of careful planning, tons of communication, and been focused on honoring the physical, emotional needs and the learning needs of all of our students. Our STAR metrics have shown growth, and we're really hopeful for continued forward progress, and thank the Women's Foundation of Boston for the support.
Well, thank you, Sarah, and thank you for being a leader during this very challenging educational time. So Kim from Dress for Success, Kim, what best practices have you learned during this year, during this past year, that you think you'll keep in place?
I think the silver lining in this COVID cloud has been that we realize there are different ways of doing things, and sometimes they work better. For example, our professional women's group meetings are now virtual. We used to meet in person every month, and we found that there are many women who have not been able to attend who can now attend because they don't have to deal with travel and all that. And even our virtual suiting program, I know that once we get back into our boutique, I think we'll still dress women virtually just because there are some who just can't get to us.
Terrific. We did get another for Girl Scouts. And let's see if I can pull it up. It says, what, if anything, at Girl Scouts did you learn from COVID that has made your organization better, and that you will continue to do going forward, Deb?
I think this whole virtual engagement, I'm really building in some ways on what Kim is talking about as well. I think the access, the ability to increase access, we will absolutely continue Girl Scouts at Home. Michelle Harris and I have seen incredible engagement with all of our girls. They love hopping online for programs and badge workshops. There's also been an increase in interest in our higher awards during this time. You heard Nina describe her silver award, and many of you will know the bronze and gold and silver awards. This increased interest and ability to access our programs has just been made such a difference, and it means that we've created new models that we won't stop when this is done. It will be integrated with lots of, camps, girls are signing up for camps, they're all coming back. That's very exciting, but we really can see the power of this for access for girls of all ages too.
Terrific. We only have a few more minutes. Sarah, is there anything at OSS, that online services that you think you'll continue to offer? Anything that you're going to bring forward from this challenging year?
Without a doubt, as Kim was saying, there are so many things we've realized that are possible as a result of the requirements that the COVID experience has put on us. When I think about the flexibility that we've learned, and thinking about having students having more access to technology, for example, and the students realizing how important it is to be enhancing their tech skills and their interests. Our robotics club is growing. Our STEAM program is growing. Those are just simple examples of how the students are getting more interested and more skilled with their technology. The Chromebooks have really helped them be able to do homework at home as well as at school.
Right, of course, yeah. So this goes out to NEAG, maybe Kim, what would you add to your dream list for support? What more could the Women's Foundation of Boston do to make a difference, knowing that the challenges of the women and girls you serve are not going away any quickly, sadly?
Ooh, that's a good question. You're doing so much already. I think for us, just allowing us to continue this virtual suiting program, there is a cost involved in that. That would be fantastic. The women do have, some women still have issues with access to technology. So that's something, we'd love to be able to find a solution to that.
Okay, that's helpful. And then what about volunteering? Maybe for Deb, I don't know how it works with Girl Scouts in terms of volunteering, but I know the Women's Foundation of Boston has seen a large uptick in volunteers during the last 12 months. And I'm wondering, has Girl Scouts seen anything similar to that?
We have seen increases, but I think it's important to say that we have always more girls who want to do Girl Scouting than we have volunteers. And so, for us, anybody who even thinks, sometimes you think you don't have the time to fit it into your lives. The truth is, gives you back so much more than you give to it, and makes a huge difference. And there's lots of ways for people to volunteer, Christina. So we're seeing good trends, but I'd love to see more people, from every background and life coming in and doing this, whether it's episodic, one-time volunteering, or the troop volunteering. We need it all, and it means that more girls can participate.
Excellent. So ladies, we are out of time. I want to thank Sarah and Kim and Deb for taking the time to be with us today live. I really, really appreciate it. And most importantly, thank you to all of our generous donors out there and our dedicated volunteers for your incredible support for our critical work at the Women's Foundation of Boston. We really hope you learned a lot today about the impact and the importance of your financial and volunteer support. Honestly, without all of you, few, if any, of these grants really would have been a reality. I wish you and your families a safe and healthy spring and summer, and we hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.